Hi, I'm Mike McMullen, the owner of PC Angel Now. In this guide, I'm going to go through step-by-step instructions on how to remove 90 to 95% of the malware that commonly infects Windows-based computers. This guide is meant for novice to intermediate PC users with no knowledge of malware removal. For more detailed written instructions, please click the link to my blog post below. I've made every attempt in this guide to keep the cleaning process as safe as possible for your system. However, malware removal is not an exact science. Malware often mutates in the wild and, depending on what you have, may be destructive to your operating system. So please use at your own risk. These are the 4 tools in the order that I'll be using them during the cleaning. All of them are free and download links are provided below. Before I begin cleaning the system, I'll need to prepare it for the cleaning. Here are the steps I'll use to prepare the system. First, I'll address pop-ups. I've set up a Windows 7 system and infected it with a wide variety of malware, including Trojans, adware, backdoors, and pups, or potentially unwanted programs. Pups are the least dangerous, but the most annoying crud you can get on your systems. Common examples of pups are driver update and registry cleaning programs. They are the programs that constantly pop up screens telling you that they found problems. Here's an example of one. This is Reimage, and it's trying to talk me into spending money to fix all the problems that it found. Another one is RegCure Pro. It's also telling me all types of problems that I have on the system, and just sending them some bucks will fix the problems. Well, many of these pop-up programs have icons in the system tray, and you can turn most of them off in the system tray. So if we go down here and look, we'll see some of the crud that I downloaded. Actually, most of this crud came in piggybacked into legitimate programs that I downloaded on purpose from shady sites. So I didn't intentionally install any of this stuff. Let's take a look at what we have. All right, we have driver update, and if we're lucky, yep, it went away. I have BitTorrent here. I'm going to go ahead and exit it. We'll talk a little bit about torrenting a little later. And here we have Slim Cleaner Plus, another one that we don't need. And then this is Reimage Repair, and we'll exit it. And what do we have here? RegCure Pro. Go ahead and exit that. And we'll get rid of this last window of Reimage. If after turning off pups in the system tray you are still getting a ton of pop-ups, it's time to check the startup items in the System Configuration utility, or msconfig. Windows 7 and Vista users access msconfig by going to the Start menu and typing msconfig into the search bar and then hitting the Enter key. XP users access it by going to the Start menu and clicking on Run. Then type msconfig in the Run dialog box. If you are using XP, you really need to get a new PC. XP is like walking down the street naked carrying all of your money in a paper bag. Windows 8 and 10 users access startup items from the Task Manager. You can start it by going to a blank space in the taskbar, right-clicking, and selecting Task Manager. Then select the Startup tab in the Task Manager. I'm going to be doing a version of this guide just for Windows 8 and 10 systems in the future. To see the startup items, click on the Startup tab. You disable startup items by unchecking the box next to the item. Be careful when disabling startup items. If you aren't sure about what something does, leave it checked. The tools I'll be using later also check the startup items. We are doing this now to limit the number of programs that are popping up or slowing down the system to make using it easier. This does not remove malware, it only prevents it from running. Okay, let's take a look at what we have in our startup list. We can go up here and expand the startup column so we can see things a little bit better. And looks like we've got some trouble right here. We certainly don't need a registry cleaner, so we can disable it. Slim Cleaner Plus is also one that we don't want. Now here we have something called Live Update. That sounds like it might be something legitimate, but the manufacturer is unknown. That makes it very suspicious right out of the gate. So we're going to go ahead and disable it. We have something here called Windows Live Messenger. But again, the manufacturer is unknown, and if we look at where the command is being executed from, it's being executed from an account profile. That's very sketchy, so we'll go ahead and uncheck it. Then we have Smart Bar. Trust me, anything with the name bar in it is not good. Anything with the name Sweet, such as Sweet IM, is also something that's not good. Here we see Live Update again, manufacturer unknown, and kind of a sketchy looking program. It's identical to the Live Update that we disabled here. Oftentimes malware will put multiple instances of startup items in your startup list to try to make certain that at least one of them gets going when the system boots. So we'll go ahead and uncheck it. And that will give us a good start at slowing things down. Then we can go ahead and click OK. And at this point, we will restart the system. And when it comes back up, it should be running a little bit faster. And if you're seeing a lot of pop-ups, hopefully a lot of them will go away as well. I've restarted the system and most of the pop-ups have gone away. Now I need to check if I have internet access. I'll need internet access to download the cleaning tools I'll use. I started Google Chrome, but was unable to connect to the internet. The same is true for Internet Explorer. Both claim to be unable to connect to the proxy server. Mozilla Firefox just continues to try to access a page. This is a common malware symptom. Malware has reconfigured my internet settings so that my browsing data is sent to that malware program. It inspects that data and can inject ads, pop-ups, or even worse, forward my personal data onto the hackers. One of the programs we disabled in the startup items was monitoring my data. Because of how that program configured my internet settings, without it running, I can no longer access the internet. I can reconfigure my internet settings by accessing internet options in the control panel. The control panel is found on the right side of the Start menu. Windows 8 users should move the mouse pointer into the bottom right side of their screen. When the Charms menu pops out, click on the search icon and type in Control Panel. Then click the Control Panel program. Windows 10 users can click in the search bar at the bottom left of the taskbar, type Control Panel, and then click on the application. If your control panel looks like this, then click on Network and Internet. Then select Internet Options. If your view is set to large or small icons, it will look like this. Either way, click on Internet Options. Now click on the Connections tab, and then LAN Settings. By default, you shouldn't have or need a proxy server. Proxy server settings are used by businesses to better manage their servers and network usage. Home users may use proxy settings to hide their location from web services. This, however, was placed here by malware. All I have to do is uncheck the proxy server and click OK. Then click OK again. Close the control panel. And we've got our internet access back. Now this is an adware home page, but at least we're able to access information on the internet, and we can begin the next step in the cleaning. If you still don't have internet access or too many pop-ups are still occurring, then pause this video and click on my companion video, Safe Mode and System Restore, in the links below. I'm now going to uninstall the pups. To uninstall programs, go to the Start menu and click on the Control Panel. If your view looks like this, then click on Programs. Then Programs and Features. If your view looks like this, then click on Programs and Features. Here we have a list of programs installed on the system. I find it easier to use the Details view. It lists the programs installed one to align with useful information like when the program was installed. To uninstall a program, simply click on it and select Uninstall. Here's a game that I didn't want and didn't ask for, so we're going to go ahead and uninstall it. Just go through the prompts and be careful reading them. Sometimes they try to trick you into keeping them or even installing more crud. Just go down through the list uninstalling what you don't want. Be careful with your uninstalling. You don't want to accidentally uninstall something you need. If you aren't sure about something, Google the name and add malware to the search. You'll quickly find articles saying what is good and what is crud. Sometimes an uninstall process asks if you want to restart the system now. To save time and restart, select No. When you're done removing all the pups, then restart the system. I've uninstalled the pups. If you get errors uninstalling or some don't uninstall, don't worry. For example, WinA failed to uninstall with an error. The malware scanners will take care of that. Now I can restart the system. Most of the pups are gone. Before I run the malware scanners, I'm going to create a system restore point. A restore point allows us to take the operating system back to a point where we know it worked correctly. This is just a precaution in the unlikely event something goes wrong during the malware scans. To create a restore point, go to the Start menu and right-click over Computer. Then select Properties. Select System Protection in the upper left. On Windows 8, click on the Start menu. This will take you to the Start screen. Type Create a Restore Point in the search box and click the first entry. Select System Protection in the upper left. On Windows 10, go to the search box in the left of the taskbar and type Create a Restore Point. Select the first entry, then select System Protection in the upper left. By default, Windows automatically creates restore points at various times. Here we see that System Protection has been turned off. Malware has disabled automatic restore points and deleted previous restore points. This is done to prevent us from removing the malware by doing a system restore. To turn restore points back on, click the Configure button. Then click Restore System Settings and Previous Versions of Files. Then click OK. To save a restore point, click on Create. Type in a name for the restore point. I'll use Pre-Scan. Then click Create. It may take a few minutes to create the restore point. When it's completed, click Close. You can now close the System Properties window and the System window. If creating the restore point fails, you have two options. You can pause this video and go watch the companion video, Safe Mode and System Restore, to see if you can fix the issue, or you can continue on and skip the restore point creation. The chance of something going wrong in the cleaning is roughly 1% depending on the severity and type of infections you have. The last step in preparing the system for cleaning is to disable your antivirus software. This will make the scanning go faster for the tools I'm going to use. Also, some AV software falsely determines these tools are malware because of the techniques they use to root out and remove the real malware. The first thing we'll do is check if you're running Windows Defender. Depending on the version of Windows you're running, go to the search box and type in Windows Defender. Then click on Windows Defender. If immediately you get a box saying this program is turned off, then Windows Defender is already disabled. Most third-party antivirus solutions turn off Windows Defender when they are installed. However, certain malware can disable Windows Defender as well. In the menu bar at the top, click on Tools, then Options. Then on the left side, go to the bottom and select Administrator. Uncheck the Use this program box. Click Save, and then click Close. Windows Defender is now disabled. Hopefully you are running other AV software as well as or instead of Windows Defender. Almost all third-party antivirus software has an icon in the system tray when running. Usually right-clicking over that icon will give you the option to disable real-time protection. In this example, I'm disabling AVG Free 2015. I just go to the system tray, right-click over AVG, and select Temporarily Disable AVG Protection. In the drop-down box, I select Until Restart and click OK. Remember that while pups are the most visible, they are usually the least serious of infections on a system. They are almost always accompanied by more dangerous malware hidden from our view. This malware uses other methods than startup to run. We have a rigorous cleaning process to go through. The first thing I'm going to do is download and run rkill. Some malware knows the type of tools used to get rid of it. This malware can sense the software you're using to remove them and prevent them from working. So we need to terminate any running malware process. Rkill is a utility that will try to terminate known malware processes that prevent you from being able to clean the system. Using Chrome, I've clicked on the link to Rkill at Bleeping Computer. I'm going to download the program called iExplore.exe. Some malware is smart enough to know that you're using Rkill, so it prevents Rkill from running. The program named iExplore is Rkill renamed. If you're using Internet Explorer and you see this message after trying to download Rkill, malware has disabled downloads to prevent you from getting the tools to remove it. Dismiss the window and click on the gear icon in the upper right and select Internet Options. Click on the Security tab and then Custom Level. Scroll down the list until you see the Downloads section. Click Enable, then click OK, Yes, and then OK. Go back to the download page and retry the download. This setting does not affect Firefox and Chrome. If you can't download with them, see my video on Safe Mode and System Restore. For various reasons, I want to make sure that Rkill runs with full administrative privileges. With Chrome, I show the file in the folder, right-click over the file, and select Run as Administrator. It'll take a couple of seconds to go through and check all the processes. Rkill creates a log file on the desktop letting you know what it did. Remember that Rkill only kills malware processes currently running. It does not remove malware. If you restart your computer before you begin scanning, you will need to run Rkill again. I'm now going to use Malwarebytes anti-malware to do a full system scan. Using the link below, I've downloaded Malwarebytes. To install it, just run the executable and follow the prompts. I'm going to uncheck the free trial option. I don't need that for the cleaning. When it runs, Malwarebytes checks to see if there are any updates, and if so, applies them. Click on the scan option at the top. Malwarebytes supports 3 different scan types. The threat scan checks where malware usually hides. To be thorough, I'm going to do a custom scan. Check the C drive to have Malwarebytes check the entire drive. If you have other drives you want scanned, check them as well. On the left side, you can select the option to scan for rootkits. This is a useful feature. Just note that it will roughly triple the length of time the scan will take. Click Scan Now and let Malwarebytes do its work. Checking in on the scan, I see that Malwarebytes has found some objects. Objects are files, folders, or registry entries that Malwarebytes has identified as malware. You can see what it's found so far by clicking on View Identified Threats. It will display up to 500 items. So far we have some Trojans, pups, and a back door. Just let it do its work and come back and check when it's done. The scan is completed. Malwarebytes has detected 963 objects. Clicking the category label sorts the found objects by severity. You can scroll down the list and review what has been found. Click Remove Selected to delete them. After deletion, Malwarebytes will ask you to restart the system to finish the cleaning. I've restarted the system and it boots faster and feels more responsive. But I'm not done yet. No single tool completely rids a system of malware. The next tool I'm going to use is ADW Cleaner. Using the link below, I've downloaded ADW Cleaner. Like rkill, I want it to run with full administrative privileges. I'll select Show in Folder, then right-click over the file and select Run as Administrator. I'll expand the window to see all columns and then select Scan. After the scan completes, I can click each tab to see what this tool found. As you can see, it found things that Malwarebytes didn't. I then click the cleaning button to remove these items. ADW Cleaner will then ask to restart the computer to complete the cleaning. After the restart, ADW Cleaner displays a log of what it removed. Now on to the next step. I'm going to scan the system with my day-to-day antivirus software. In this case, it's AVG Free 2015. Run a scan with the AV software you have installed. If it's Windows Defender, please skip this scan. I'll address it a little later. With AVG, I just click Scan Now. The AVG scan completed and found 11 detections. Let's see what it found. Most of the 11 detections were just traces of malware the other tools removed. This is common. If your AV software finds items, secure or remove them. I've completed the general scanning and made a lot of progress. Now it's time to detail the system. While the scanners have removed the malware threats, I still have work to do cleaning up after them. The first thing I'll do is fix the browsers. Usually your default browser will be the one most impacted by malware. In my case, it's Chrome. Malware removal has left it with a non-existent home page. To change this, click on the 3 horizontal bars in the upper right. Then select Settings. In the On Startup section, I see that an adware extension is controlling my home page, so I need to disable it. Scrolling down, I'll check my search settings. While Google is set to the default, I see that Suite IM has placed a search setting in this group, so let's delete it. You can see that another extension has taken control of my home page. It's time to remove unwanted extensions. Just go down the list deleting unwanted extensions. Going back to the settings page, I see that nothing is controlling the new tab page. Just what I wanted. If you prefer a different home page, then select Open a specific page and then set your pages. After restarting Chrome, everything is back to normal. Now let's take a look at Mozilla Firefox. As I mentioned before, your default browser will usually be the hardest hit by malware. It's always good to have more than one browser installed. That way, if one browser is hit by malware, you may be able to use another browser to download tools. To check settings in Firefox, click on the 3 horizontal bars in the upper right corner. Then click on Add-ons. Select Extensions. The only extension is the Skype click-to-call extension, which is legitimate. If this was a malware extension, all you'd have to do is click on Disable. Now click on Plugins. Again, only the plugins listed are valid plugins. If there is one here you don't want, select Never Activate. Now let's look at options. The General tab is where you can set your home page. If it's been changed, enter the link here or select Restore to Default. The Search tab lets us select what the default search engine is. You select your default search engine in the drop-down box. Below is a list of alternate search engines. Luckily, there is no adware search engines listed. If there are for you, just select it and remove it. Now click on Advanced. Then select the Network tab. I'm going to check how Firefox connects to the Internet. I want to make sure malware hasn't placed unwanted settings here. I want to make sure there are no manual settings, unless they are settings I put there on purpose. This looks good. Then click OK, and click OK again. Now to check Internet Explorer. The cleaning reset my home page in Internet Explorer back to what it originally was. If that's not true for you, then click the gear icon in the upper right and select Internet Options. Enter the link you want for a home page and then click OK. Now let's check toolbars, extensions, and search providers. Click on the gear icon in the upper right and select Manage Add-ons. Then Toolbars and Extensions. These look good. If there is something here you don't want, then select it and click on Disable. Looking at search providers, I see these are okay as well. If you see something you don't want, then select it and click Remove. Then close the window. If when you restart your system you get messages saying that a file wasn't found or something can't be started, then you probably have some malware traces left in the task scheduler or services subsystem. Let's check the task scheduler first. The task scheduler is used to start programs at certain times or when certain events occur. You can access the task scheduler by going to the search bar and typing in Task Scheduler. Then select it. To see what tasks are scheduled, click on the Task Scheduler library. Going down the list, I see an entry for Slim Cleaner Plus. I removed this and the scanners also cleaned out what remained of it. Clicking on the Actions tab will show what file the scheduler is trying to run. This file no longer exists. To remove this task, right-click over it and select Delete. Check the other tasks and delete them if necessary. A Windows service is a program that operates in the background. Often malware will install itself as a service. You manage these programs through the Services interface. Go to the search bar and type in services.msc. Then select Services. The scanners have already cleaned out the services I don't want, but once in a while they miss something. This is the one area of detailing that I need to use the most caution. Disabling the wrong services can prevent the system from working correctly or at all. As you can see, there are a lot of services. To make things a little easier, I'll sort them by the services that are started. Carefully go down the list and look for shady services. Usually they will have names you'll recognize from the pups that were installed, such as registry cleaners, driver updaters, etc. Clicking on a service will show a description of what it does. If you aren't sure about something, it's best to leave it alone. If you find a service that the scanners missed, select it. I don't have any shady services, but I'll use DNS Client as an example. Do not disable DNS Client. I right-click over it and select Properties. Then in the startup type, I select Disabled. Then click OK. Then go up to the upper left and select Stop the Service. Repeat this for any other shady services that you see. The last step in detailing the system is rechecking msconfig. I want to make sure that I and the scanners didn't miss anything. After starting msconfig, I selected the Startup tab. Everything looks great. I'm going to disable BitTorrent. Many people don't know that BitTorrent automatically starts when you boot your system. If your internet plan has data caps, then you want to disable torrenting programs. Otherwise, you can get hit with additional fees from serving torrents you weren't aware of. I'll just click OK, and we don't need to do a restart. And we finished the detailing. If after cleaning and detailing you are still getting browser redirects or pop-ups or unwanted ads, then you have some particularly malicious malware on your system. This malware calls for more aggressive tools. One such tool is Zoic. If ADW Cleaner is a hammer, malware bites a sledgehammer, and your normal AV software a jackhammer, Zoic is a 2,000-pound conventional bomb dropped from 35,000 feet. It will probably destroy the malware, but there might be some collateral damage in the form of programs that might need to be reinstalled. Use this as a last resort and definitely at your own risk. Before you run Zoic, make sure to disable your antivirus software. Using the link below, go to the Zoic page and download the exe file. Show in folder and run as administrator. Zoic may take a minute or two to start. Be patient and wait for it to start. I'm going to paste a small script into Zoic telling it what additional things I want it to do. This script is in the notes below and available in my blog article. This script tells Zoic to create a restore point, do a cleaning, delete all temp files, and flush various network entries. Check to make certain Scan All Users is selected, and then click Run Script. As it runs, Zoic lets you know what it's working on. Just let it do its work. It may take a bit. When it's finished, Zoic will ask you to reboot the system. After the restart, a log of what Zoic did is displayed. Now check and see if your malware problems still exist. Hopefully, they're gone. If you still have problems, here are some options. You can try running Combo Fix. It's a tool similar to Zoic. I've provided a link below if you want to try it. Run it as administrator like I did with Zoic. If that doesn't work, then search on the symptoms you are experiencing. If the malware is showing any type of a name, include that in your search. Detailed info like that can really help narrow the search and find a solution. You can also try posting your problem in the forums at Bleeping Computer. I can also help you with my immediate assistance remote support call. It's a very inexpensive way to get your system back running correctly. If I can't fix the problem, I'll refund your money. If all this fails, then a fresh install of Windows may be necessary. You will want to back up your personal data to a flash drive or external hard drive. Use Windows Easy Transfer to make one copy of your data, and then make another backup by manually copying your user profile from c:/users. If you are using only Windows Defender for antivirus protection, I'm asking that you stop using it. While the version of Windows Defender in Windows 8 and 8.1 is more capable than earlier versions, it's still not very effective. I recommend that you download and install either AVG Free or Avast Free. Both provide very good antivirus protection. I prefer AVG Free because it displays less ads than Avast to get you to upgrade. I provided links to download both below. Whichever one you install, run a full scan of your system after the installation. If you still wish to use Windows Defender, go to the Start menu and type in Windows Defender. Click Windows Defender and turn it back on. Here are some good rules to use that will help keep your system clean. When possible, download from well-known sources such as CNET or FileHippo. Make sure you click the correct download button on these sites, otherwise you might get trials of software you don't want. After downloading, take a moment to scan the file you downloaded. Usually you can right-click over the file and select Scan with whatever AV software you have. This is particularly true when downloading torrents. More so with software, but you can get CRUD from music and movies as well. Pay attention during the installation process. Almost all installs nowadays have additional software included in the main installation. Decline offers to install them. They are counting on you just clicking Next to any screen that comes up. If a site looks shady, it probably is, so look for what you want in other places. If your antivirus software needs to update, please take the time to do it. AV vendors roll out updates to their scanning engines throughout the year. This is done to address new malware techniques as they are discovered. Make certain you install Windows updates. By default, Windows applies updates every day at 3 a.m. Leave your computer on overnight once or twice a week so updates can be applied. Or you can manually install updates by typing Windows Update in the search box and clicking on Windows Update. Then click Install Updates. About every 3 to 4 weeks, disable your AV software and run a Malwarebytes threat scan followed by ADW cleaner. This takes very little time and can save you some heartache later. Remember to turn your AV software back on when done scanning. I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll visit my site and watch my other videos.